There's a strange stage in love that almost nobody talks about. It's the moment when someone already knows they love you, but saying it feels heavier than silence itself. So instead of speaking the words, they start showing their feelings in ways they don't even realize. Because emotions don't just disappear when they're unspoken. They shift, they twist, they leak out in subtle patterns. And if you know what to look for, you can see someone quietly battling their own heart, trying not to give too much away. It's a space filled with fear of being too vulnerable, fear of rejection, fear of losing something precious. It's overthinking, it's silent attachment, it's that internal tug of war between wanting to say it and not wanting to risk it. In this video, you're going to discover the two psychological signals that reveal when someone is emotionally drowning in love, but still can't bring themselves to say it. Number one, they start creating emotional micro-excuses to exist in your world. And this signal is incredibly easy to miss, because on the surface it looks random. Small messages, tiny interactions, unimportant conversations. But emotionally, there's nothing random about it. Because when someone is secretly overwhelmed by feelings for you, they stop reaching out for reasons and start reaching out for presence. That's the difference. You'll notice it slowly. A random message that doesn't really need a response. This reminded me of you. An unnecessary check-in, a meme sent at midnight, a pointless question they could have answered themselves. Are you awake? And logically, none of these things seem important, but psychologically, they reveal emotional attachment in one of its purest forms. Because attachment doesn't always ask for attention, sometimes it simply refuses distance. You see, when someone is fighting strong feelings they can't fully express, their emotions start searching for indirect ways to stay connected to you. Not through confession, through continuity. That's why their messages stop being meaningful and start becoming presence-based. They don't text because they have something important to say. They text because silence from you feels emotionally loud. And honestly, that changes the entire energy of the connection. Because now they're no longer communicating for information, they're communicating for emotional reassurance, for access, for closeness, for the comfort of knowing you're still there. And this is where hidden love becomes fascinating. Because the person usually doesn't even realize they're doing it. They think they're just talking to you. But emotionally, they've started weaving themselves into your daily life. Little by little, message by message, moment by moment. That's why emotionally attached people begin creating what psychologists would call emotional re-entry points. Small excuses to reconnect after silence. They disappear for a while, then suddenly return with something completely random. Not because the topic matters, because reconnecting matters. And maybe you've experienced this before. Someone who says goodbye, then somehow restarts the conversation 10 minutes later. Or someone who constantly sends little things throughout the day that don't really require discussion. A song, a screenshot, a random thought. And the deeper the feelings become, the less the content matters. Because what they truly want is emotional proximity. Your attention starts feeling emotionally regulating to them. Hearing from you changes their mood. Your replies affect their emotional state more than they'd ever admit out loud. And this creates a very specific pattern. They begin checking in unnecessarily, not because they're bored, because your absence feels noticeable. That's why people secretly in love often become hyper-consistent without meaning to. They remember small details nobody else remembers. They follow up on things you casually mentioned days ago. They notice emotional shifts in your tone. And perhaps the biggest sign of all, they struggle to let conversations fully end. Because emotionally attached people don't experience connection the same way casual people do. To them, a conversation isn't just communication, it's emotional contact. And once someone becomes emotionally important, even temporary silence can create internal discomfort. Not dramatic discomfort, quiet discomfort. The kind where someone suddenly wonders, Why haven't they texted yet? Did I say something wrong? Should I message first? Because when feelings become deep, people stop protecting their time and start protecting access to the person. And honestly, that's what makes this signal so powerful. They're no longer trying to impress you. That stage slowly disappears. Now they're trying to maintain emotional closeness, trying not to drift, trying not to lose the connection they secretly think about far more than they should. And maybe the saddest part is, sometimes they'll hide their feelings perfectly while their behavior reveals everything. Because emotions that are suppressed verbally often become amplified behaviorally. The heart finds another way to speak. That's why people who are dying to say, "I love you," often start spreading themselves quietly into your routine, your mornings, your nights, your small moments, not loudly, subtly, until their presence starts feeling strangely constant in your life. And perhaps that's the clearest sign of emotional attachment of all. When someone no longer reaches out because they have something to say, but because being emotionally disconnected from you feels wrong. Because love, before it becomes confession, often first becomes habit, an emotional habit. And the more someone silently loves you, the more they start creating tiny emotional doorways back into your world. But the second signal is even more revealing because it doesn't come from behavior. It comes from emotional leakage. Number 2, their personality shifts slightly when you're around. And this is one of the most revealing signs of hidden love because it's extremely difficult to fake. You see, when someone secretly loves you but can't say it, they don't just behave differently. They become emotionally edited versions of themselves around you. Not intentionally, subconsciously. Because the moment feelings become deep, self-awareness becomes intense. Suddenly, they start thinking about how they sound, how they look, how they're being perceived by you. And that changes their behavior in subtle but powerful ways. Maybe they become softer around you. Their humor changes slightly. Their confidence suddenly feels inconsistent. One moment calm, the next strangely nervous. And the fascinating part is, it usually only happens around one specific person. You. Because love doesn't only reveal itself through expression. Sometimes it reveals itself through interruption. Interruption of confidence. Interruption of natural behavior. Interruption of emotional rhythm. That's why someone who seems relaxed around everyone else can suddenly become careful around the person they secretly love. Careful with their words. Careful with their reactions. Careful not to reveal too much accidentally. And honestly, that emotional caution says more than confidence ever could. Because people who don't care deeply behave naturally, but emotionally invested people begin overthinking everything. A joke, a pause, a facial expression. They replay conversations in their head because your reactions suddenly matter more than they should. And slowly, their spontaneity starts disappearing around you. Not because they're fake, because they're emotionally exposed. That's why hidden love often appears through tiny personality shifts, delayed responses, nervous energy, unexpected calmness, watching your reactions too carefully. Because when someone becomes emotionally attached, their brain starts assigning emotional weight to your presence. Your mood affects them. Your attention affects them. Even your tone can change their emotional state instantly. And maybe that's why people secretly in love often mirror the person they care about without realizing it. If you become quiet, they soften too. If you laugh, their energy changes immediately. Because emotional attachment creates unconscious emotional synchronization. And honestly, that's one of the purest signs of silent love. When someone's emotions begin responding to your presence automatically, not because they're trying to impress you, but because they've started emotionally prioritizing you. And perhaps the deepest truth of all is that people trying hardest to hide love often reveal it the most through these subtle personality changes. Because words can be controlled, but behavior shaped by emotion is much harder to hide. And eventually, no matter how normal they try to act, their feelings start rewriting their behavior in ways they can no longer fully control. And maybe this is the part most people never understand. Silent love often feels heavier than spoken love. Because unspoken feelings don't disappear, they slowly reveal themselves through behavior. In attention, in overthinking, in the way someone acts differently around you without realizing it. Because real love doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it quietly changes a person from the inside. And when love reaches that stage, even silence starts feeling emotional. So let me ask you something. Do you think silent love is stronger than spoken love? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe for more deep psychology insights about hidden emotions, human behavior, and the things people never say out loud.